Welcome back to Sikho German, Lektion 15, and we're diving into one of the most fundamental topics in German grammar, regelmäßige Verben, regular verbs in the present tense. If you want to speak German fluently, you absolutely need to master verb conjugation. The good news? Regular verbs follow completely predictable patterns. Once you learn the rules, you can conjugate hundreds of verbs correctly. Let's make this super simple. Today we're learning about regelmäßige Verben im Präsens, regular verbs in the present tense. Let's make this super simple. We'll cover three main things: what regular verbs are, why they change, and how to use them correctly. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to conjugate any German verb confidently. In German, regular verbs, or regelmäßige Verben, are verbs that follow a clear and predictable pattern when conjugated. Think of them like a mathematical formula. Once you know the pattern, you can apply it to any regular verb. They all follow the same rules when changing for different subjects, such as ich, I, du, you, sie, you formal, sie, es, he, she, it, wir, we, ihr, you plural, and sie, they. This is different from irregular verbs, which change unpredictably. But regular verbs, they're your best friends, completely reliable and consistent. So why do regular verbs change in German? In English, verbs barely change. You say, I play, you play, we play, and only he plays or she plays gets an extra S. That's it. But in German, verbs change for every single subject. This is because the verb ending shows who is doing the action. Look, ich spiele, I play, du spielst, you play, spielt, he plays. Each one has a different ending. Why does German do this? Because the verb ending tells you the subject. This means German can be more flexible with word order. Once you know the verb conjugation pattern, you can understand who's doing what, even if the subject pronoun is dropped. This might seem like extra work at first, but it actually makes German more precise and expressive. Let's learn how it works. Before diving into it, hit the subscribe button for upcoming lectures. Now, let's learn the exact pattern for conjugating regular verbs step by step. Step 1. Start with the infinitive form, the basic dictionary form of the verb. Let's use machen as our example. Machen means to make or to do. This is the infinitive, the unconjugated base form of the verb. Every German infinitive has two parts. Mach, this is the Verbstamm or verb stem. This part doesn't change. It stays the same for all subjects. En, this is the Endung or ending. This part changes depending on who's doing the action. So think of it like this. The stem is the core meaning of the verb, and the ending shows who is performing that action. So for any regular verb, 1. Take off the en ending. 2. Add the correct new ending for your subject. That's it. Super simple formula. Here are all the verb endings you need to memorize for regular verbs in the present tense. Singular, ich, ending e. I always ends in e. Du, ending st. You, informal, ends in st. Sie, ending en. Formal you keeps en. Sie, s, ending t. Third person singular ends in t. Plural. Wir, ending en. We keeps en. Ihr, ending t. You, plural, ends in t. Sie, ending en. Formal you keeps en. Sie, ending en. They keeps en. Notice ich, du, sie, es, and ihr all have unique endings, but sie, formal you, wir, we, and sie, they, all share the same en ending, same as the infinitive. Memorize this table. This is the key to conjugating all regular verbs in the present tense. Now, let's apply these endings to our example verb machen.
Watch how the stem mach stays the same, but the endings change. Singular. Ich mache. Du machst. Sie machen. Sie, es macht. Plural. Wir machen. Ihr macht. Sie machen. Sie machen. See how systematic this is? The stem mach never changes, only the endings change based on the subject. This exact pattern works for thousands of regular German verbs. Learn it once, use it forever. Let's see machen in a real sentence. Ich mache meine Hausaufgaben. I am doing my homework. The verb is machen, to make or to do. The subject is ich, so we use mache, stem mach plus ending i. This sentence shows an action you're currently doing. Du spielst Fußball. You are playing football. The verb is spielen, to play. The subject is du, so we use spielst, stem spiel plus ending st. Notice how smooth the pronunciation is, spielst. Next, wir lernen Deutsch. We are learning German. The verb is lernen, to learn. The subject is wir, so we use lernen, stem lern plus ending en. With wir, the verb is in the infinitive form. Sie wohnt in Berlin. She lives in Berlin. The verb is wohnen, to live or to reside. The subject is sie, so we use wohnt, stem wohn plus ending t. This describes where she permanently lives. Fragt den Lehrer. He asks the teacher. The verb is fragen, to ask. The subject is so we use fragt, stem frag plus ending t. Notice den Lehrer is accusative because it's the direct object.
Now let's learn two important spelling rules for regular verbs. These make pronunciation easier. Rule 1. If the verb stem ends in s, st, z, or x, you remove the extra s before the st ending for do. Why? Because you'd get a double s sound that's awkward to pronounce. Examples: reisen, to travel. Stem, reis. Normally, do would be du reist with double s, but we simplify. Du reist, only one t. Tanzen, to dance. Stem, tanz. Normally, you'd say du tanzt, but the stem ends in z, so du tanzt. Drop the s, just keep t. This only affects the do conjugation. All other forms are normal. Rule 2. If the verb stem ends in t or d, you add an extra e before endings like st and t. Why? To make pronunciation possible. Without the extra e sound, you'd have unpronounceable consonant clusters. Examples: warten, to wait. Stem, wagt. Du wartest. Extra e for pronunciation. Sie, es, wartet. Extra e before t. Ihr wartet. Arbeiten, to work. Stem, Arbeit. Du arbeitest. Extra e for pronunciation. Sie, es, arbeitet. Extra e before t. Ihr arbeitet. These spelling adjustments are only for pronunciation. The conjugation pattern is still the same. Now let's build your vocabulary with common regular verbs you'll use every day. Machen, to do or make. Lernen, to learn. Spielen, to play. Wohnen, to live, reside. Arbeiten, to work. Fragen, to ask. Antworten, to answer. Hören, to hear or listen. Kaufen, to buy. Sagen, to say. Leben, to live, exist. Reisen, to travel. Remember, du reist. Baden, to bathe. Tanzen, to dance. Remember, du tanzt. Lachen, to laugh. Weinen, to cry. Kochen, to cook. Öffnen, to open. Putzen, to clean. Schauen, to look or watch. Suchen, to search. Zeigen, to show. Warten, to wait. Remember, du wartest. Glauben, to believe. With these 24 regular verbs plus the conjugation pattern, you can already create hundreds of sentences. Now let's practice. I'll give you 5 sentences with blanks. Fill in the correct conjugated form of the verb in parentheses. Pause the video and give it a try. Here are the answers. Let's check how you did. Let me summarize everything you learned about regular verbs today. First, regular verbs follow a completely predictable pattern. Once you know the rules, you can conjugate hundreds of verbs. Second, every verb has 2 parts. Verbstamm, stem, this never changes. Endung, ending, this changes based on the subject. Third, memorize the verb endings. Ich to I, du to st, sie s to t, wir to en, ihr to t, sie to en, sie, formal, to en. Fourth, 2 special spelling rules. First, stem ends in s, sz, z, or x. Drop the s in du form, du reist, not du reists. Second, stem ends in t or d, add extra e for pronunciation. Du wartest, arbeitet. Key takeaway: regular verbs are your foundation. Master these patterns and you're ready for more advanced German grammar. Great job! You now understand regular verbs in German. This is a huge milestone because verb conjugation is the heart of German sentences. Now you can express actions, describe what you do, and talk about daily activities, all with correct grammar. Remember, regular verbs are completely systematic. The pattern never changes. Practice conjugating verbs from your vocabulary lists, create your own sentences, and soon this will become second nature. If this lesson helped you master regular verbs, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next lesson. Also, share it with your friends learning German and leave a comment with a sentence using a regular verb you learned today. Thank you so much for learning with Sikho German today. You've mastered one of the most important foundations of German grammar. I'll see you in the next lesson where we tackle irregular verbs. Bis bald! Auf Wiedersehen!